Let me show you real quick the miles on the 2016. 61,081 miles. So that's what we've got on the 2016 Ram. Happy New Year. You know, at the beginning of each year, I like to write down the hours of every piece of equipment I own and every vehicle I drive, just to keep track of it and to know how many hours I put on. So let's do that here. And so on the skid steer, got a new phone. I got to figure out how to work here. We've got 1400. Focus, 1400 and a half hours. There we go. Okay. We've been doing some demo work and remodeling, so got a pile of trash on the back. Haven't gotten down to the burn pile on the Gator here. What have we got? 788 hours, 788.9. Should I take a mileage reading on the Dodge here? My daughter did tell me 2 weeks ago that brakes are working, it runs, so I can move this out of here if I need to. Don't know what her next plan is. Hell.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Hey, I'm not talking to you. Stop. What do we got on here? 124, 632. I'll take a picture of it just for the hell of it. Did it take one? What the hell happened? I hate new stuff. Let's try this again. Okay, let's continue down to the tractors. Let's not forget the lawnmower here. And we've got 328 hours on the lawnmower. I already checked my trucks yesterday, but just so you see how many we've got on. This is the 2014 Ram, 48,751 miles. Okay, my grain truck. What do we got here? 308,999. I should go play nines today. And is this gonna get the picture? Oops, what the hell happened there? I don't know how to work this phone yet. Yep, I can read that. Okay. All right, on the 7140. Oh, we don't need music. And I've got 7,274 hours. Just for the hell of it, let's see if it starts. Oh, yeah, beautiful. It hasn't run for over a month, but these Magnums, man, it's got to be pretty darn cold for them not to start, or the battery has to be pretty weak for them not to start. I'm going to leave this running a bit. I'm sorry. That was the 7120, not the 7140. I normally have the 7140 parked in that position, but since we had been spreading lime, I just backed the lime spreader in there, left the tractor there. Let's check the 7140 now. We've got 4,988 hours. Let's see if this one will start. It's probably going to make a liar out of me. think the battery's a little weak. All right, well, that's not good. And now the John Deere. I know this one will not start. If it sits more than a couple of weeks, it's not gonna start. I put a new battery in it a couple of years ago, but ever since I've owned this tractor, it's been a slow starter. And it looks like we've got 2,046 hours on this tractor. And I'm sure it's not gonna start. It's turning over. Hey, wow. Wow, I'm surprised. It has been sitting here. It's been about 3 weeks since we've used this tractor. I'm surprised it started. I'm wondering if that one has got, if that one's got a little bit of corrosion on the battery, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Nope. Cables look good. I'm looking at the batteries here. What about April, May of 21? So these are only 2.5 years old. I'm not even going to try to start this because when it sits more than a month, it loses, all right, come on camera, it loses its fuel prime. Apparently it was an issue from the time these things were new. These are the separator hours, 3,408 on the separator, and on the engine 4,744. All right, 2 more tractors here. This tractor, the 2510, the hour meter quit working, I think it was 2 years ago. So it is stuck on 944, but I'm going to take a picture just in case it started working again. But, and that's a new 944 is not the true hours. I replaced this maybe 20 years ago. It had quit working, and I forget how many hours. I still have the old one in the shop, but it had quit working, so I replaced it, and now it has quit working again. And on this one here, we've got 1,329. All right, just for the hell of it, let's see if this one starts. There we go, started right up. I'm gonna get my truck, get the jumper cables out, and see if I can start that other tractor. All right, I tried going here to this connection point, but it doesn't seem to be working. Let's go to the battery. my jumper cables are not heavy enough for this operation, or the connections are not good at all. One more time this way. It seems like it made spark on the negative connection this time. There we go. I just was not getting a good connection. But you heard how quick it was starting. That's all it takes. Have I mentioned how I hate cold? I despise it. And have I mentioned how cold it is out here today? Well, it's not that bad. It's 43 degrees right now, but that wind is blowing and it's just, brr. And I just remembered I have this shirt in here, so let me go up to the shop with my big magnet and see if I can get that security tag off of there. I guess I could wear the shirt with the security tag on it. That's no big deal, right? Is that a fashion trend to wear your clothes with the security tag still on there? I guess I could make it one. This magnet should get it off of there, right? I hope. This shirt's gonna need a washing when I finish with it. Well, this one is not getting it off. What the heck? I guess it's the way you have to get in around that thing. I mean, it's sticking to it. What the hell? It's a pin, at least from what I've seen on some other videos. The pin on this side goes up between a couple of balls. Those balls are held in place by a spring. The magnet is supposed to pull that spring back and those balls back and release the pin. But that's not the case here. Maybe I can just break it open with the vise. Here's the spring. Let me show you. Can you see there's 4 balls that sit down around this pin. That spring goes on top of there, and then that cap goes on, and so the magnet is supposed to pull everything up to release those balls, but it did not. All right, balls are out. It comes out, and we're good. There we go. Okay, boys and girls, and that's why you should not lead a life of crime, because it's too damn complicated, and it's not easy. All right, this is some of my mess from the projects I've been working on. Some of the carpenter stuff. I had to have some jigs here to put some handles on some cabinets. There's my electrical stuff. Yeah, we had some plumbing problems. Had to do some snaking. I didn't like that snake, so I bought the better kind of snake here, the heavy-duty strap. Yep, had some caulking to do. So yeah, just a little bit of everything. I've still got my mess here in the floor from some sawing I had to do. Okay, here is the seat for the 7120 I need to put in. but that's not today's project. I'm up to the store to get all of my year-end paperwork so I can close out the books. All right, I do have one more truck to check. Farmer's daughter is still using my maroon truck, the 2018 Ram, because her truck still has not been fixed. I think we are going into month 3 now of Ram trying to figure out the issues with her truck and get them fixed. So I think they have figured out the issues. Now they're waiting on parts. So this has been a month, over a month since it was diagnosed, that they are still waiting on parts to get the issue fixed. I get, what do people do that don't have extra vehicles? My God, a rental vehicle would have killed you for the last 3 months to have to get one. Although I guess if she'd wanted to, if she really needed to, she could have gone up to the dealership and picked her truck up and drove it while they were waiting on parts. I'm assuming that they don't have things torn apart out of it. I don't know, but I mean, luckily we have extra vehicles, so she's been able to use mine. So she's at the store this morning. I'll check the mileage on that vehicle when I get there. My 2016 Ram, for those that are wondering, I believe that has 61,000, 62,000 miles, somewhere in there on my 2016 Ram. Let me show you real quick the miles on the 2016. 61,081 miles. So that's what we've got on the 2016 Ram. Let me check the hours on the forklift. I normally forget this one. And it looks like we have 3,614. Okay, I'm warning you now. I don't put a lot of miles on this truck through the year, but as I said, my daughter has had it for 3 months, so it's going to be a whole lot more miles than I'm used to on here. And we've got 38,861 miles. And let me turn the radio down. So here's what the trick I use on my vehicles. Okay, so I go to Trip B. So on each one of my vehicles, Trip B is the annual mileage. So as you can see, this year I've put 7,517 miles on this truck. We've averaged 16.5 miles per gallon. Let me get a picture. And then I'm going to reset it for the start of the new year. There we go. And I think somewhere in here there's an hour setting, and I think it's in this one. There we go, hours. So these are the total hours on the truck. So I've got a database at home that I track all of this every year. So I now have all of the numbers I can enter into my database. I also track all of the maintenance on every vehicle, gas changes, gas changes, oil changes, filter changes, if we do repairs on anything, a muffler replacement, tire rotation, tire changes, it's all tracked in my database with mileage and date and all of that. So at the end of the year, when I enter all these miles, I'll look at my database, figure out, which pieces of equipment need an oil change, for instance, or I can, like the batteries for the tractor, I can check on that to see, how old those batteries are to determine if it's the connection or the battery that needs to be replaced. So yeah, I've been doing this since the 90s probably, so I have history since I've owned each piece of equipment with the hours and the maintenance on it. Okay, into the hardware store I go. It's January, so it's time to start inventory counting. I don't know if we're going to start that today, but we can do some prep work so we can get that going. I'm thinking that's all I need to show you on this video, so I think I can say, see ya! See ya!